Alright guys, I forgot I needed to make this video and I got all ready for bed before I remembered, so here you go. But guess what? Even though my hair is ready for bed, the states of matter are still the same, so it's not going to matter. Matter. Okay. All right. So you should have your review paper. You can get one in the science drawer, or if you are at home, you can do it down below in Canvas. So number 1 wants us to construct an explanation using the evidence of density to describe the arrangement. So how are they situated together? How do they interact with each other? Of particles in the states of matter, solid, liquid, and gas. So what does all of that mean? This means that I can explain or model, because we're explaining, so sometimes models are helpful to explain what the particles in each state look like. So what do they look like? So that's a model. How do they interact with each other? So how do they act with one another? How do they move? And their density. So I heard 4 things that we need to explain about each one. You can draw models, use words, or a combination of both would probably be best. What do they look like? How do they interact with each other? How do they move? What's their density? So 4 parts to this question. So go ahead and answer this question here, and then when you are ready to see the explanations, come on back. So pause and do your work. So the explanations, remember yours might look different, and that is okay. So let's look at 1 here. So a 1 might be something like you just have the models and you didn't explain anything. So nothing, all we have are models. We didn't do the 4 parts. So a 2 might look something like we have our models and I say that these are spread out, these move quickly, these are loosely packed, these flow, these are packed tightly, these move slowly. So I talked about like 2 of those things. How do they move and how do they interact with each other? These are spread out and they move fast. These are loose, they flow. These are packed, they're slow. So that's 2 of the things I asked for. That's a 2. So to get a 3, we talked about 3 of the things. So here's my model. And I'm showing they're spreading out. They move quickly. So this is exactly the same. I added another detail. When we're getting this way, we're going less dense. These are more dense. So we're comparing their densities. And then the 4 made sure we had all 4 parts to that question. So they're spread out, and I show that here. They're moving quickly, and they go in every direction. How do they interact with each other, right? They're pushing out away from each other, and they're less dense than these. A liquid are very loose. So they're touching each other, but they're very loose in there. They just flow with each other and they just slide on by. And the solids are packed in there tight. And they're moving very slowly. They're just vibrating back and forth to create that movement. So that 4 just gives all of the details, and maybe a 3 has most of them, a 2 has half of them, and a 1 doesn't really have any of the details. So go ahead and decide which of those best represents your level of understanding. How did you communicate with me? So 1, 2, 3, 4, which one best matched you? So then reasoning, why did you give yourself that score? So what matched that you felt like that was your score? And then your goal is, what are you going to do on the test to make sure that you do your best? Do you need to make sure you give all of the details? Do you need to remember to draw a model? Do you need to study more about what a solid and a liquid and a gas do? So what do you need to do to get your highest score for yourself? So go ahead and finish that up, and then we'll go on to number 2.